2 starts immediately after the party. And the party was on what day?
Sunday.
Sunday. So Sunday night after the party, that's where Act 2 begins. We have Mercutio, we have Benvolio walking through the streets of Verona. Both of them are looking for, not a fight, not yet. Who are they looking for? They're looking for Romeo because Romeo left them separately. They didn't all leave together. So Mercutio is making fun of Romeo because Romeo is in love. He's saying the ape is dead. Romeo is as good as dead because he's just in love with Rosalind and he's no good for anybody. Okay, he still thinks that Romeo is in love with Rosalind. So Mercutio and Benvolio are searching for Romeo. They're walking down the streets looking for Romeo. Romeo can hear them, but he's not interested in talking to them because he's the type that kind of just keeps his feelings to himself. He stays away from all of them. So Romeo is hiding. Open the, oh, there you go. Romeo is hiding from them. He is hiding in a bush. He jumped over a wall back into someone's property. So he's hiding kind of in the bushes. He doesn't know that the property he hopped back onto is the Capulet's property. So he's hiding from them. They can't find him, so they decide that they are going to bed. That's the end of scene 1. He jests at scars that never felt a wound is how scene 2 starts. Romeo hears his friends making fun of him, and Romeo comments. He jests at scars that never felt a wound. Does anybody know what this means? Can you tell me? What does jest mean? Anybody ever heard of a court jester? To make fun of, yes. So jest means to make fun of. So Romeo is saying Mercutio is able to laugh at him because Mercutio has never been in love before. So you guys will see this quote again. Romeo knows, bless you, Romeo knows that Mercutio is making fun of him, and he's saying, well, Mercutio's never been in love, so he doesn't know how it truly feels. Then Romeo sees his love come out on the balcony. And she's just out there and he's admiring her beauty. So Romeo watches Juliet. He is staring at her, admiring how beautiful she is. Just like he was doing at the party when he first saw her. He said her beauty, she is as beautiful as a jewel in an Ethiop's ear. Now he's saying it is the east and Juliet is the sun. She's bright, she's beautiful, she's lovely. So he watches Juliet and he's thinking, should I say something to her? No, I'm not even supposed to be on her property. You know, so he's going back and forth trying to decide if he's going to say something to her. And then he makes himself known. They spend all night talking about love. Ro and Ju talk about their love. I love you, you love me. Let's go make a family. And, I made that up. I'm a poet and I don't know. Shh. All right, so Romeo and Juliet spend all night talking about love. They spend all Sunday night and on into Monday morning. So this is like 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Juliet mentions that the sun is about to come up. So really early Monday morning. She asks Romeo, do you love me? And he's like, no, don't answer that. I know you're going to say yes. But if you feel like I'm moving too fast and I'm too easily won, then I'll just play hard to get. And then she tells him, if you want to marry me, I will send someone to you tomorrow. She says, think about it for the next couple of hours. I'll send somebody to you tomorrow. What time does he tell her to send someone?
9.
9 o'clock a.m. Send someone, oh, I spelled someone wrong, to talk about the wedding. So Juliet will send someone to Romeo at 9 o'clock that morning, in the next couple of hours, to find out whether they will get married for sure or not. And I think that is, yep. That ends scene 2. Scene 2 of Act 2 is what we call the famous balcony scene. Anybody who was ever talking about Romeo and Juliet or drawing pictures of it or whatever will always mention this scene. It's the scene where Juliet is up in her window and Romeo is down on the ground and they're talking to each other. The famous balcony scene. So Juliet mentions that the sun is about to come up. They say goodbye to each other. She says, "Parting is such sweet sorrow." Where does Romeo go after this? Yep. Romeo goes to his mentor, Friar Lawrence. Why is he going to Friar Lawrence?
That's a mentor.
Yes, it's his mentor, but what does he need to see him for? To ask him about the wedding. He needs somebody to perform the wedding ceremony. So he goes to Friar Lawrence, and when we are introduced to Friar Lawrence, he is in the garden. Friar Lawrence is what we call an apothecary. He can make potions and medicines with herbs, and he's looking at the flowers and talking about how beautiful they are. Romeo comes. Friar Lawrence like, "Hey, you look like you ain't been home tonight. You been out all night?" And Romeo was like, "Yes." And he was like, "Oh, you've been with Rosalind." Romeo like, "Ain't nobody checking for that girl. It's all about my new love, Juliet Capulet." Friar's like, "What? Your face is still wet from when you were crying over Rosalind, and now you're telling me that you're gonna marry your enemy?" So Friar Lawrence kind of scolds him. He fusses at him, says, "You're not stable. You just going back and forth. You don't know what you're doing." But then Friar Lawrence changes his mind because he thinks that the wedding could do what?
End the war.
The wedding could end the family feud. So Romeo asks him to marry them, and Friar says yes. Not because he thinks it's necessarily a good idea for them to be together, but he's more concerned about ending the family feud. So Friar says that he will marry them. And guess what? That ends scene 3. Scene 4, we go back to Benvolio and Mercutio. They still in the streets. They've awakened for the next day, and now they're walking around looking for Romeo. Ben and Mer looking for Ro. What does Benvolio tell Mercutio? That Tybalt did what? Tybalt sent a letter to Romeo's house. The letter is challenging Romeo to a fight because Tybalt is mad because Romeo did what? Because Romeo crashed the party. So Tybalt sends challenge letter. Mercutio does not like that because Mercutio knows Tybalt. We can only assume that they have been in some battles in the past. Tybalt talks about how skilled of a fighter Mercutio is. Mercutio talks about how good of a fighter Tybalt is, but he also says that Tybalt is a dirty fighter. He says, yeah, he's real good, but you gotta watch him because he's dirty. He knows how to do all this stuff and he don't play by the rules, okay? So Mercutio, well, we know Mercutio doesn't like Tybalt, so Tybalt sends a challenge letter. And then here comes Romeo. They continue making fun of Romeo. Mercutio makes fun of Romeo for a little while. They're just in the streets clowning each other, still thinking that Romeo is in love with Rosalind. They don't know that it's actually Juliet. He doesn't tell them any of this. So they continue making fun of Romeo. And then who comes along? This is now Monday about 9 o'clock. So who comes? The nurse. Yes, somebody's saying it very softly over there. The nurse comes, and she's coming to find out what? About the wedding. Nurse comes to talk to Rome. The nurse comes to find out about Romeo, but before she can get to Romeo, she has to get through Mercutio. Mercutio is laughing at her. He calls her fat. He says something about her being a whore. They make fun of her. Mercutio is a clown. He's always clowning, right? So then they go away. They tell Romeo, I think they said, we'll see you at dinner tonight or something like that. Then the nurse and Romeo talk. What does Romeo tell the nurse?
He wants to marry Juliet.
Yes. When are they going to get married? When Juliet has permission to come to?
What's that thing called?
S. So when Juliet goes to shrift, remember these are Catholic people. Shrift is another word for confession. She's gonna go to the church, sit in a little room. The friar is gonna be on the other side, and she's gonna confess all of her sins to friar. And then he's gonna say, you are forgiven. This is what you have to do to be forgiven. So that's what Catholic people do. Juliet, that's the only reason Juliet has permission to leave the house alone. So Romeo says, today, Monday, when Juliet goes to shrift, we are going to get married. All right? So Romeo tells the nurse about shrift. He also tells the nurse, what does he tell her about the ladder? He's going to take a ladder, a rope ladder, and put it behind the church. Actually, he's going to get his servant to do it. He's going to get a rope ladder, put it behind the church. The nurse is supposed to come and get the rope ladder later. What is the rope ladder for? So when they spend their wedding night together tonight, Monday night, Romeo has to have a way to get into her bedroom. And remember, the balcony was really high when he was talking to her, so he has to have a way to get up there. The way he's going to get up there is with the rope ladder. So there are only a couple of people who know about this wedding. We got the nurse, well, Romeo and Juliet, of course. Then we have the nurse and Friar Lawrence, and then Romeo's servant, Balthazar. His name is not really important. It's just Romeo's servant, Balthazar. His servant is the one who's going to put the ladder there. And that is the end of scene 4. Scene number 5. It is now Monday around 12 o'clock. We know that because the nurse left at 9 to talk to Romeo. In scene 5, Juliet is mad that the nurse is taking so long. She says the nurse has been gone for 3 hours. So Juliet is angry because nurse takes too long. Takes a long time, L-O-N-G. Juliet is mad. She's calling the nurse lame. She's saying she's out of shape. She's saying she's just slow. Because Juliet wants to know if her man is going to marry her. So we need to know that 3 hours. The nurse has been gone for 3 hours. Then she finally comes back and she's like, oh, my back, my head. Oh, I'm doing too much work. And Juliet's like, lady, what's wrong with you? What did Romeo say? She will never tell her. She's like playing games with Juliet. Finally, she tells Juliet about the wedding. About the wedding. She says, have you leave to go to shrift today? And Juliet says, yes. And the nurse says, there you will find a man who will make you a bride. So Juliet goes and gets ready to go to shrift around 1 in the afternoon on Monday. That ends scene 5. Scene 6, nothing happens except they get married. We don't actually see the wedding. There's no dialogue for the actual wedding, but that's what happens. They get married. Juliet goes to Friar Lawrence's cell or his office. Romeo is already there, and Friar takes them and marries them. This is the summary of Act 2. Questions by you?
No.
No. Do y'all remember at the beginning of the year when we were talking about the elements of a short story and we did a couple of plot diagrams? Exposition, rising action, climax, falling action.
Yeah.
In May. This, even though this is drama, not necessarily a short story, it follows the same template as a short story. Because we had the exposition where we learned about the characters. Then we had the rising action, which was Act 1 and Act 2. Now what we're about to read is Act 3, the climax of the story. This is where the problem gets as bad as it can possibly get. Nothing good happens after they get married. Everything goes downhill. So then we have the climax, what we're about to read, and then the falling action for the play. So now all the sad stuff is about to happen. That's what we're going to read.